Assalamu alaikum guys. Today I'm going to teach you how to play the Ruy Lopez. So get ready and open up your ears because what I'm going to teach you right now is going to be very important. And after I teach you this, you need to remember that when you play this game, the game of chess, you need to understand very carefully. Understand very carefully that chess is not for beginners. And Ruy Lopez is the opening for real experts, and by experts I mean grandmasters. So get ready and let's get it into the action. So first we start with e4. White plays e4, black responds with e5. Board develops the knights on adjacent squares, while white plays bishop to attack the knight. Okay, next you need to know that you can bring the knight either here or either in front of the king. So when you bring the king in front, then the white can take and you can take and the position is simple. But if they don't take, they can castle either after you play knight, they can castle or they can push the pawn and keep the position simple. Then you can push the pawn, maybe chase away their bishop, and they can be in a corner where you can thus then win the bishop. But it's not that easy, guys. They can maybe even play this, and this might be a problem, and you maybe don't want to get into that. So let's keep it simple for now. It's a beginner's guide, I guess. At the start, I want maybe making it very difficult to understand. So let's keep it simple. Stick the basics. Okay. After bishop to b5, you can play this move, knight to f6. Then white castles, bring out the bishop, you bring the rook. That's the computer saying is kind of equal 0.2. So then you can bring the other knight as well. This is not a theory, but I'm telling you first you have to bring out this, open up this bishop, and then white can start building up the position by developing the knight and pushing this pawn, making space for the bishop to breathe and something else. So, but this bishop is kind of a weakness because they can attack and bring our pawns from. So first, let's castle, and till move 10, you need to understand that first you need to build a strong structure, strong developed pieces so that when you play against the opponent knows that you are in a stronghold of the position that you play, and so that when they attack, they know they need to play very carefully and not be lenient in their way of responding. So, first of all, let's go back and let's target some of the weaknesses. That when knight b f6 is played, they can also respond with pawn this, like sacrificing both pawns. So if black takes the central pawn, you can just castle. They can take the other pawn, but if they do not, they can maybe attack like this. But we don't want to focus on that. They take the other pawn. Okay, let's focus on that. You pin the knight. They do this. Bring the pawn up. You take the pawn back. They unpin, but they can't because if they do that, you can take this pawn like this. So first they have to, I guess, unpin. So in that case, they cannot do that as well. So it's a trap. Understand this because if I take the knight, they take back, which they have to because unless they want to lose 3 points, that's necessary. You take the pawn and then it's simple. You can take the rook and you're up points, around 5 points. But after the take, it's like +2, and it seems like a good position. But you need to develop your pieces, and after developing your pieces, you can win over and take the advantage. The position looks really bad, I guess. Let's go back a bit. That was a lot of much theory, but this is one trap that I've told you. This kind of the 2 pawns trap. Remember by the 2 pawns trap. Okay. So 5 minutes are in. They can maybe even push this pawn or this pawn. But if that happens, you need to remember that you take this pawn, so that the pawn doesn't attack your bishop. You can take. Otherwise, like if they go like this, just take, keep it simple. After takes, take the pawn. Either with the pawn or the knight, it doesn't matter that much. I would prefer with taking with the knight. Then after the attack like this, you can go here. This is a really good position for white to take advantage. Like go here, they might go back or like this. They can go back this, but then you can take the queen. So that's not an option. So to go back, let's go back to the basics once more. And last time, I'm going to teach you guys that you need to remember this position, both from black and both from white. That this is the starting position of the opening, and once you have reached this, there's the Berlin defense where you can castles and just attack. But there's also the takes variation where you bring out the knight. They they go for this pawn push. You take, and this pawn is taken. But taking this pawn is no use because they can bring out the knight. I mean the the queen, the center. So you have to give up this pawn, and then this is bad, looking bad. They can't go here, so they takes, and that's you. You don't have to castle right now. The castling rights are gone, and you can be attacked easily. They can castle, so it's not looking so good. Okay, so don't do that, and go back to where they take, and you need to castle. They bring out the bishop, and you do the knight. This is like the ideal position. You need to get to here so that when you win, and it's probably going to be a end game when you are playing Ruy Lopez. So after they bring the knight, don't try to open up the center because probably going to be queen straight. Go here, castles, bring the bishop in the center. This move can also be played, but don't keep in mind that in advanced level people go for bishop development. Push pawn, go here. Maybe yeah, you go like here. You can abandon the knight, but that's a blunder, I guess. So okay, start with this. I guess like go here, and then after 10 moves, then it's easy. You need to know that at the start, the Ruy Lopez position is supposed to be in contact, in fragile not position. The queen should not be traded, and you need to have a proper position to play, a lot of pieces to attack with, and not some kind of dumb, boring endgame where you are left with rooks and pawns. So keep in mind, guys, I'm teaching you this and stay with the basics. This is the basic position. Okay? Stay in mind. This is part one. If you request for another part where I will discuss with, if you want to, hopefully I will discuss with in deeper depth, where more theory and many other lines. I will be gladly like to teach you on Ruy Lopez part 2 and even part 3 if the request is made. But for now, I'm glad we're teaching you about this, which only the basics, like beginners can learn like 800, 1000 rated or some kind of. Okay. So see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like. Bye guys.